In July of 2026, somebody walked up to 39,000 employers across 41 countries and asked one question: which skill can you not find? For the first time in the history of that survey, the answer was not engineering. It was people who can build with artificial intelligence. 72% said the seats are open and nobody is walking through the door. And in that exact same year, you have been told over and over that coding is dead. Here's the truth. Both of those things are true at once. Let me show you where the shortage actually lives. Look at two lines from the same government report. Software developer jobs are projected to grow 15% through 2034. That is about 129,000 openings every single year. Now look at the line right under it. The job title computer programmer is projected to shrink 6%. Same decade, same agency. Opposite directions. Read those together and the entire market snaps into focus. The door, marked write code, is packed shoulder to shoulder. The doors marked own a system nobody else understands are standing wide open with nobody in the hallway. A 2026 survey of technology leaders put artificial intelligence and cybersecurity tied for the hardest roles to fill, while plain application development fell off that list entirely. One honest note before we start. Every number in this video comes from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Robert Half's 2026 salary guide, recruiter placement records, and live job postings. They are middle-of-the-road ranges, not promises. What you actually earn depends on your city, your employer, and how far you take it. Think of them as starting points. Number one is the mainframe developer, and I put it first because almost nobody sees it. Roughly 800 billion lines of COBOL are still running in production right now. $3 trillion in transactions move across it every day. 95% of ATM withdrawals touch it somewhere in the chain. Now, here's the part that should stop you. The average person maintaining that code is over 55 years old, and IBM estimates 85,000 mainframe developers retire worldwide every year, while universities graduate almost none. The average salary in the United States runs about $115,000. Entry roles start around $75,000 to $95,000, and some staffing firms will pay you a salary while they train you. If you have ever done accounting, insurance claims, or banking operations, you already speak the language that code was written in. Number two is the embedded and firmware engineer. This is the person who writes the code that lives inside the thing: the car, the pump, the insulin monitor. Recruiters report that roughly 80% of embedded postings sit unfilled for months, with searches dragging 6 to 12 weeks. Mid-level pay runs 110 to 145,000. Senior runs 150 to 200,000. Why is nobody available? Because for 15 years, universities chased web and cloud, and a 22-year-old graduating today has heard of React since high school and has never held a development board. That is a generational hole, and holes like that take a decade to fill. Number three is the industrial controls programmer. Factories are coming back to America. Warehouses are automating. Every one of those lines runs on a programmable controller, and somebody has to write the logic. Median pay sits around 84,000, and the range runs from about 57,000 up past 135. Add a functional safety credential, and you clear 110. The controls engineers who built these plants are retiring, and the practice simulators are free. If you have ever worked maintenance, electrical, or anywhere on a plant floor, you are closer to this than a computer science graduate is. Number four is the security engineer. 66,800 United States listings in a single year, up 124%. But I promised you honesty, so here it is. The 2026 workforce research found 6 in 10 organizations now say skills gaps outweigh raw headcount shortages, and 27% tie an actual breach to a capability gap. The scarcity is not at the entry tier, it is at the architect tier, where somebody has to make a real trade-off under real pressure. Those people name their price. Getting there takes a couple of years, and the governance and risk lane is the one door into it that does not require a command line. Quick pause, because this part is for one specific person. You are over 40. You gave a company 15 or 20 years, and one afternoon, they decided you cost too much. You have sent out 50 applications and heard nothing. You have started to wonder whether you are the problem. You are not the problem. The system was built to read your experience as expensive and quietly wait you out. That is exactly why I wrote the 40-plus career playbook. It names the 4 wounds nobody warned you about. It has a recruiter language decoder, the 5 moves that actually work for older workers, and a 7-day plan you can start tonight. Right now it is $9 for the first 100 people, then it goes up. The link is pinned at the top of the description. And quick, tell me in the comments which of the first 4 you are looking at. I read everyone. 3 out of 4 people watching this are not subscribed. Fix that and let's keep going because the pay climbs from here. Number 5 is the data engineer. Robert Half's 2026 guide puts the starting range at $127,000 to $180,750. That is the highest documented starting band on this entire list. Now, my honesty flag, and it is a big one, this is not a first job. Entry-level technology postings collapsed, and the first data role is the hardest one to land. But if you already work in finance, logistics, healthcare, or supply chain, you understand the data before you ever touch the pipeline, and that is the half most candidates cannot fake. Number 6 is the platform and reliability engineer. Median base sits at $182,000 across 1,000 recent postings. In 2 years, this category climbed from 11th hardest to fill all the way to 6th. Junior security-focused roles start around $95,000 to $130,000. This is the person who keeps everything standing at 3 in the morning, and there is no version of the artificial intelligence boom that does not need more of them. Number 7 is the enterprise platform developer. Think of the workflow systems that run big companies from the inside. Specialists in the governance, operations, and security modules command real premiums, and certification plus genuine implementation work lifts earnings 20 to 40%. There is no degree gate here at all. There is a vendor exam and a free practice instance, and if you have ever administered anything for a business, you have already done the harder half of this job. Number 8 is the customer platform developer, and this one gets the hardest honesty flag in the video. Developer is the only role in that entire ecosystem where demand actually fell year over year because the junior band is flooded with certified people who have never touched a live production system. So I will not sell you the entry level. But technical architects in that same ecosystem are 1% of the global talent supply, with demand up 27% against 4% supply growth. The floor is crowded, the ceiling is starving. That is the whole opportunity, and it is a 3-year climb, not a 3-month one. Number 9 is not a job title at all, and that is exactly why nobody can hire for it. Recruiters describe the real gap as a shortage of judgment, not a shortage of code. Companies are drowning in people who can close a ticket and starving for people who can run something end to end, from the question to the shipped answer. Listen to what the technology chief at Best Buy said about this. Their most productive artificial intelligence engineers in 2025 were never hired as artificial intelligence engineers. They were solid engineers who got trained internally on real projects. That single sentence should change how you read every job posting you see this year. And number 10, the one I told you to wait for, 500,000 open artificial intelligence roles worldwide, a 63% talent shortage, roughly 3.4 openings for every qualified candidate on the planet. Postings up 163% in 1 year, then up another 74. Agentic roles alone up 280%. Mid-level median base pay of 193,000, senior around 240, and roles that require these skills carry a wage premium north of 50% over the same job without them. And the door is a free cloud learning plan and a $100 practitioner exam. That is the whole gate. That is it. Now the counterweight, because I am not going to hand you a fantasy. New computer science graduate unemployment is sitting around 6.1%, higher than graduates overall. The chief executive of Amazon Web Services publicly called replacing junior developers with artificial intelligence the dumbest idea he has heard. Some analysts argue the hiring freeze has less to do with the technology than with interest rates and overhiring 3 years ago. All of that is real. The market did not get easier. It got pickier. But notice what every single one of these 10 roles has in common. Not one of them was gated by a 4-year degree. Everyone was gated by proof. The people telling you coding is dead, and the people telling you it is booming are both looking at the same market and describing different halves of it. The crowded half is the half that only knows how to type. The empty half belongs to people who understand a system and can prove it. Everyone kept telling you the price of admission was $40,000 of debt. It was never the debt. It was the proof. You can start building that tonight. So subscribe to the channel and like the video. There's a lot more coming.